So 10 years after the crisis, some bad news, some good news. The bad news is the financial system has not been fundamentally transformed. We still have a system which is largely opaque and unaccountable, but also unstable, and largely invested in speculative activities that are disconnected from the needs of the real economy. We still have an economy which is ultra financialized, and we are missing this deep transformation. On the good side, we see that citizens all over the world are giving signals that they are demanding this radical change, this deep transformation of the structures. And they've also understood since the crisis, civil society, but also the average citizen, that finance and the financialization of the economy is at the root cause of many of the problems we know today, from the environmental crisis to booming inequalities. 5-6 years after the creation of Finance Watch, we're also asking ourselves some tough questions about the means we've used, the impact we've achieved. And in a nutshell, we will and we want to consolidate this highly technical expertise we have built, this reputation of excellence and of quality in our research, but also a deep understanding of the legislative process and how we can make citizens intervene, how we can represent the voice of the public interest. But we need to add a layer to that, which is the building of a wide movement to change finance, and linked to that, maybe even more importantly, how we connect that movement to the average citizens, the concerns and some of the emotions and the energy which is out there. So how can we involve you? So this is what we're going to do in the coming months. A crucial issue today is the question of the financing of the fight against climate change, the financing of the energy transition, more broadly the financing of the Sustainable Development Goals. It's an issue that's high on the agenda at different levels, global level, European level. What's at stake here is, will we grow a few niches of sustainable finance, responsible finance, green finance, gentle finance, or are we going to use this opportunity to look at the fundamental flaws within the financial system? Will we challenge this place of the master in which 25 years of financialization have put the financial sector and make it the servant it needs to be, the servant to a sustainable economy? When Roosevelt engaged the US into World War II, he turned to the automobile industry and told them, I need planes and tanks. Either you're going to start producing them quickly or I'm going to take over and I'll do that. And by the way, he said, I just passed a law that forbids you to sell any new car in the United States for the next 3 years. Well, guess what happened? They stayed there, he didn't need to take over, and the whole of the US economy was transformed within a few months. We are in a period where we need this sort of political direction, and the financial sector can quickly be put back at the service of society. It's a question of political will. So again, 10 years after the crisis, we would have hoped everybody would have drawn the lessons, especially the elites. At Finance Watch, at least, we have drawn some lessons. We are now entering a second phase of our existence. And in this second phase, we will have a dialogue with you, which is much more regular, much more close. More importantly, we'll do all we can to give you the tools to act, to have you make your voice heard directly. And in fact, right after the summer, we'll be back to you on the specific issue of the financing of the energy transition and the Sustainable Development Goals, and give you the means to make your voice heard on this issue.